Okay, Cameron Lynch, welcome to the Business Advisory Show. How are you today?
Thanks for having me, John. I'm sorry that it's taken this long to get on this show, mate.
That's all right.
Jeez.
That's all right. Well, the Adelaidean is only down the road to Melbourne, and we had to meet up at Brisbane at the pre-con party or the event.
We do, and I'm lucky I got here, eh? The fog.
Yeah, fog in Adelaide.
Fog.
Yeah. Cameron, it's been a massive year. I was very proud to take you on the road last year, the Accountant's Big Day Out, and you caused a bit of a storm, and I reckon you've been pretty busy ever since. Tell me about the last 12 months.
Oh, it's just been really exciting because, like, business intelligence has always been there, right? But it's only been there for the corporates. So, like, all of a sudden SME are getting a sniff of this, and it's just so exciting because, like, all of a sudden you can create things that you've never been able to create before. And, like, there's data everywhere. I mean, we're here at Xerocon, and guess what's driving, like, this BI movement is Xero. Xero's ecosystem is driving everything that we're talking about here. Yeah. Cloud, data, like, we can do things that we've never done before. So it's so exciting, and I love it. I love everyone being so, like, enthused like me.
No, you're right, and it's a really interesting point you make. Like, for anyone out there that might feel that we are unreasonably biased, as in, if you're passionate about, Sage, Handysoft or MYOB and so forth, you'll know that we're not actually against those platforms, not at all. It's the antithesis of that. It's what's actually happening because of an open sourced environment.
Absolutely. I mean, and they're all doing it now, which is fantastic. Yeah. Opening up and letting the ecosystem like evolve, it's really exciting because then they don't have to do all the work as well. So let it flourish. And like, this has worked in lots of different areas, but now it's taking off in this SME. I think it's really exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. What is and there's one of our speakers' hand over there, the 5-minute handovers in our Heather Smith hosted pre-con event downstairs, which is awesome. Tell us about your definition of business advisory. What does it mean to you?
Business advisory. Well, I guess advisory. What does advisory mean? To advise. To advise. To me, in the accounting world, mind you, to advise, to help your client, and that can be in all different shapes and forms. In the accounting environment, it can be tax. It can actually be compliance advisory, but it can also be what I work in with dashboards and reports and actually helping with profit optimization and things like that. So yeah, I think it's quite broad advisory, but yeah, it's a buzzword.
Absolutely, absolutely. And why do you think it is important for accountants and bookkeepers to continue to pursue and evolve their own capacity and capability as business advisors rather than just delivering compliance services?
Well, like, compliance is there and it's always going to be there, but what I think is happening right now is that there's been like a bit of a shift now where it's commoditizing. So it still can be very profitable, but you're not as, you don't stand out as much as you used to for lodging a tax return anymore. And so what do? You're looking for reasons to create value for your client base, aren't you? Isn't that what we're always trying to do? And that's what this does. So it's not about fear mongering, you've got to go to advisory. You don't have to go to advisory if you're not suited to that type of work, but it's a new frontier that's really starting to explode. And I think it's really exciting that the accountant is taking that reign because they've got so much potential to execute and pull it off, I think.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And maybe one of the biggest issues is there's a fear factor. If I don't get into advisory, someone else might take my client who does, and I think that's a very real threat.
It is, but I reckon you flip it and you don't go the negative side, you go the positive side, that your clients are hungry for this stuff. It's an opportunity for you to help and assist and be more sticky as well, which is important.
So give them more of what they actually want, the customer.
Yeah, I mean, they are either becoming aware of it or they're thinking about it. They're looking, like, especially as you grow your business, you're looking for more data to make better decisions. This is a no-brainer that data, I mean, there's an expression, crap in, crap out, but overall, good data leads to better decisions. Like, we've got a quote coming up in our presentation in about an hour, and it says businesses that use data properly, 5% more productivity, 6% more productive. Did I say that right? 5% more productive, 6% more profitable.
Yeah.
I mean, that's massive because they can make no more gut feel stuff, like making decisions based on data. I love it.
No brainer, automatically there's an ROI.
absolutely. Yeah, I think it's a no-brainer.
Yeah. As a business owner, I believe this question's great because it helps us to think about we are better business advisors through our own business ownership hard lessons learned. If you had your time over again, what's been the most valuable business lesson you've learned so far?
Oh, geez. What's been my biggest... Great question. Whoa, God. Geez, I've gone blank on that one.
You know what? You need some data to analyse historically.
I think templates, that was something that I learnt early on, was that I gave a lot... templates really, if I had my time again, I would have given more templates. I think I wasn't picking up on that. You know what I should have done? At the very start, 4.5, 5 years ago, I should have sat down in an accounting firm for 6 months and said, can I just sit here for free and just be here and just be a part of your advisory scene? And I think that would have helped me a lot more of the mistakes that I've made historically.
Yeah, good point. In fact, one of our tips that a lot of the people that I mentor is that 99% of your intel can actually come from your client base, and that can lead to R&D and innovation. Would you mind sharing a bit about the magnificent templates that we now use? Because we actually use your system that you built, and we've integrated it inside the best practice learning management system, so our members get a bit of a bonus there from some other stuff. But there's a whole bunch of stuff that we've now got in that system, which no doubt you could share a bit more about.
When you deal with the SME, you got to have templates, but the power of Microsoft Power BI is that you can extend them off the charts, but you still got to have a base, because they're not big corporates like Coca-Cola where they're like, oh, what's your customer persona, and go and tip 50,000. It's just off the planet. So you've got to have starting grounds, I reckon, and especially in that management reporting space, that's what we've done, is given you a heap of starting grounds. So there's so many, but some of the more popular ones are budget v actual, variance analysis, scaling budget v actual on a monthly or quarterly basis, looking at your debtor days and your customer debtor days and things like that. They're very popular. Customers, I reckon, are a really interesting thing to look at. And then going outside of the Xero, QuickBooks, MYOB ecosystem into the operational land as well, I think is really exciting, because you've got some chunky data in there, like timesheets and product margins and things. So yeah, there's a lot of data out there. Yeah,
I personally love some of the customer instant insights, like on the wagon wheel. We can see the exposure of a huge client on what it is, 25% of revenue and stuff like that. Yeah, very insightful.
Yeah, and being able to slice that up and seeing that growth of those particular clients. I mean, sometimes it's like what you just said, that wagon wheel, and you're like, geez, I mean, you sort of knew that you had one in particular massive client, but starts that conversation, well, that's quite risky to have just one client. Ooh, what can we do to de-risk that type of thing? I mean, I love the conversations that can come out of that type of stuff. Yeah,
absolutely. And over the last 10 years, if you could wind back the clock, other than the templates, any other lessons you've learned that you'd make a more brutal decision, or if you had your time over, you would do it differently? No, I'm just so glad. You know what happened? The way I got into accounting was I was doing commerce, and my sister was working at a mid-tier accounting firm, and I was like, she said, "Do you want a job?" And I was like, yeah, of course I do, because I was working in a clothes shop. So I was like, awesome. So that became my major, accounting. I mean, that's literally the beginning of my accounting career. So love that. I think that we are in the most exciting time in the accounting space. Not the most challenging time, the most exciting time. I think there's so much potential for what you can do. Yeah, absolutely right. Yeah, Cameron, thanks for coming on the Business Advisory Show.
Thanks for having me, John.
You're very welcome.
I love the way we got civilised after the bad start, and we got really back on track.
Well done.
Thanks, mate.